Yeah,
He says, no, you need to put a show on here.
yeah. I was,
And I was like, wow.
I had a fast truck. I was racing it back at Mansfield, Ohio. Got in front of, oh, who was it?
Hold on, mics are hot. Yeah, just right. Welcome to Let's Talk Short Track Racing. My name's Alec Jorgensen. This is Frank Cryer.
Frank Cryer.
All right.
Talking short track.
Man, we got a lot of short track racing to talk about.
Big crowd of people today.
Yes, all two people. We've got our main man, Grant Thormeyer, here, and then we got Brey Holmes. Brey
in the studio.
He's in the studio. Literally just walked in.
Yeah.
Talk about perfect timing.
2 men in a GoPro.
A little bit more fancy than that, but we're getting there.
We're better every time we. I figure about 2 years we'll have this thing down pat.
Hey, well, we'll keep working on it and dialing it in, and all the folks that tune in, keep giving us your comments. Let us know what you think, and we'll keep building on it.
Especially on what you want to talk about. I mean, we want our guests to give us an idea what we're talking short track down here and throughout the country, and throughout the season. I mean, we'll be in between pretty much all over. I mean, we had sprint cars a couple weeks ago, talking about asphalt sprint, the drivers from the sprint car world, and then tonight we're going to be, we're just come off the Rattler 250 over in South Alabama, which we'll be talking about, and then Brey ran Auburndale and won his first race. It's going to be a cool show today. It'll be a lot to talk about for sure. Absolutely, and it's just been a crazy start to the season here in the South, and so we are racing here in the South, and so that's our specialty. But man, I mean, a lot of northern racetracks about to open up here. Yeah, no, usually our season starts in kind of the mid-April. Between snowstorms, I remember one time it was May 8th, and we were at WIR racing a race, and it snowed the night before 6 inches, and they were plowing the snow at midnight, and we raced the next day when the sun and wind came out. It was crazy. That is insane. I mean, as a Floridian through and through, we don't get that much in the way of snow. You guys get a rainstorm and some wind, and that's it. But I think Florida should have like a sun out, like when it gets 105 degrees. I think it should be illegal to race, or at least to crew cars. I mean, drivers can go race if they want, but I think to crew a race car, I always said if it wasn't 85 or under, I wasn't going. That was my thing. you like it cold, huh? Beautiful, right? It was beautiful today, huh? 83 degrees and sunny. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, and then there was snowing at home on my camera back in the Dells, but yeah, it's. I'll take this weather any day. We did some traveling around today. We had to pick up a race truck for one of our clients here at GTR Race Branch. But yeah, awesome weekend this weekend. We came off of Auburndale 2 weeks ago. Friday, Saturday, and then went into jumping right in the truck and heading Sunday down to, or up to Alabama. And then I'm it's always going to be up. To me is down in racing. But no, we went up there and did some practicing on Monday to get the track, get comfortable with the Pro Late and the Super for Nick and Kendrick, and it was a pretty cool weekend for sure. Absolutely. And you look at that week, we started off Saturday night at Auburndale. Yeah. Friday for me, because I practiced. Yes, Friday and Saturday at Auburndale. Yeah. Pick up a pair of top 5 finishes for the guys, which is a good solid start to the season. Yep. But then you go from there, you load up the trailers. You already got a trailer on its way to Alabama. And then, man, you just pack up the car that looked a little less beat up and said, all right, we're doing this. I said that we were trying to match cars. We still had, there's little differences between the yellow banana and the black one, but we wanted to be a lot closer so when we're testing stuff. But Kendrick actually, because Nick came up right away, but he had to go back to work. So Kendrick was in both cars, getting tested. And that was a car he just ran at Auburndale, and we struggled a little bit at Auburndale. I felt like the car had speed in it, but just the longevity just to build that speed later, and it's just being new at a racetrack for us, right? Hey, what's this thing going to do in 50 laps plus, So, but we took both them cars up there and had a good time. I was happy with our finish from how it started. Every time you go out for practice, you're 10 laps. You're making a move on the car, and then you're watching cars. Everything's loose in, loose in. Next thing you know, we're working on the car to get it tightened up. Now you go racing, it's loose in for the first 10 laps, and then all of a sudden he's complaining it's tight in the center the whole time, and it's not loose in. And all I kept doing is freeing the car up, and it just kept getting better and better, and pulling a top 10 finish with a 6th place finish for Kendrick, coming from 2 laps down. So we were happy with that, but now we have a notebook, because I wish we would have started right where we ended right there. Would have been a whole different program, but
Well,
should have, could have, would have.
I mean, you look at the progress that Nick made. I mean, my golly, he went from struggling a little bit on Friday, and then all of a sudden on Saturday he qualifies 11th.
11th, and then gets in the top 10 run. And then actually I was watching the car forward, and both them, I work on both them cars, and seeing what they were doing. They were a little heavier on stagger than we were, and definitely on the setup was a little bit more steer in that car. But like I said, Nick is a great asset to this program. He's got great input, and he, where Kendrick kind of, a lot of times he'll get, yeah, that's good, that feels good, and just even racing, I'm like, you drive it, I'll crew it, we'll be fine. But no, just watching everybody. Michael Atwell's going to be on tonight. He was strong. I mean, the whole weekend he had a fast car. Them guys were fast. And ends up pulling off the win off the pole. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that whole program, it's really a combination of 2 programs, really. You got Chris and his team, and then you got Michael and his guys from his home team, kind of paired together, and they're out there just. They kicked everybody's butts this weekend.
Yeah, we were them at Citrus. We did that race over at Citrus, and he ended up winning that Citrus race. And I wanted to go up and congratulate them guys, because to me, I just love these young kids winning races. They're these teams are good. They're in just building up. Like I said, we were that in Wisconsin, and now I just got to get down here and build notebooks on these tracks. I have no notebook.
To be fair, Mike Garvey has a little bit more of a notebook down here than you do.
You can imagine he does. Me, I'm just like showing up, and you don't know who to ask or go. I mean, I do get some help from friends I got down here, and just say, hey, I'm going to this track. What gear do I need? And I do things differently than a lot of people. I don't do what the norm does, so it's hard to ask, because it'll get you steered in a way you're not going. So it's a little bit different. But yeah, otherwise we have a great show. A lot of racing going on right now. I mean, this weekend we got coming up, Cordille's running a pro race. We got Auburndale running a pro race. I was saying, wow, there's 2 pro races.
It's a lot of pro races for not a lot of pro cars down this area.
In a 5-hour circle.
Yeah.
Like just trying to get that in. And it's like, but if that can build, right, I always say the pro car, it seems to be, growing down here. And it's funny, our pros are different up in Wisconsin. Ours are a lot more, I mean, I look at a pro down here, this is what I call it. It's a super late model with a manufactured crate motor that you soup up.
Pretty much.
So in my mind, I'm thinking, there's no step. I mean, you look at the pro guys, even at the Rattler there. I mean, that's hard racing. It was competitive, and it's tough. That I'm hearing feedback from old stuff. Do you hear that?
No, I don't hear anything.
I'm hearing myself talking like 5 minutes ago. But that's because it's
yes, that's from Facebook. Yep, we're checking in on our Facebook comments, our Facebook fans here. Seeing some notes to turn Frank's mic up, so just want to make sure that we take care of y'all and get everything where it needs to be, technically speaking.
Yeah.
You might need to turn your volume up on your mic.
Is that test 1, 2? Is that better?
That's much better.
I'm trying to be quiet back here. Get no feedback.
Hey, we need you being a loud mouth.
Yeah. Me, I'm the quiet shy type. Everybody knows that. But, it'll be a good guest on today. And then...
and Brey Holmes, I mean, my golly. Coming
Brey.
fresh off his first win.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and goes to the Rattler.
Yeah.
And sees what it's like competing against some of the best racers in the country.
We were lined up with Kendrick, right by Brey. And I never met Brey until that day. I wanted to congratulate him at Auburndale, but we're all wrapping up and trying to get out of there. And here it's his first win, and so I congratulate him up there at the Rattler. And he was so excited. He said that was my first win. And to me, I love that, right? Brey's think he's 23 years old.
Mhm.
He said he's been racing a lot of stuff. Got into a super late model a year ago, and then boom, gets his first win right away on a big race.
He's got a great family too, supporting him. I've been his parents before. Great people. Just southern, sweet. Just out there trying to do the best by their kid. I mean, that's what it
That's
comes down
awesome.
to.
That's what it takes, right? Me and my family, right? The same thing. Mom's up there spotting for Kendrick at the Rattler. Dad's down there crew chiefing, and little man's wheeling it. And we're all yelling at each other.
Hey, that's part of racing, though.
It's the family gift. Oh, we love it. No one's yelling at each other. But one time he came in the pit. I kept having him come in the pits. I watched Steven Nasse in the pro race come in the race in the pits during the race at least 5 times, and he ended up second.
Hey.
So my mind going in on the Saturday race, I'm like, it was hard to pass on the outside.
Mhm.
So I made the joke like, well, what the hell? You go to the back, you're on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kendrick, here's our deal. We're going to the inside every time. I don't care. He did not want to come in. I said I brought him in. We're starting at the bottom, not burning it up on the outside. So it's kind of like had a little bit play how we were planning on doing that, and it worked for us, But as we kept working on the car, and that's what I said at the end of the race. We were on the same 10th as he was, the leader, and that's all we were trying to get to, and we were nothing near it during the race. So,
hey, it's a work in progress, right?
Yeah, it's always what it is. But I'm going to tell Michael he's got to come up to Wisconsin.
Hey, I guarantee you that team, they're up for anything. They're, it's like World of Outlaws, right?
Yeah.
It's a true outlaw schedule with them. They don't care. They pick up the car and take it wherever it needs to be, and they'll be at any race at any time. I love that whole crew. They're a bunch of good people.
That's what I was trying to tell people about. You got the Snowball Derby, the huge presentation of a race, and we have Oktoberfest.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say I've been to Snowball Derby and I've been to Oktoberfest plenty of times, but them guys, when they go to the Snowball Derby, it's the same thing, all the campers, all the people, but it's still nothing like La Crosse Oktoberfest. And have you ever been there?
I have.
Yeah, you know it then. Yeah, the 3 barns of I don't want to say drinking and partying, but damn, we're getting done at 9:30 at night.
Yep.
And we're going to be in them barns drinking and getting our cash after what we've made and burning it down in the beer tent.
When I was there, I was there for a little company called Speed51.com.
Yeah.
And I was there, and they were like, "You're going to judge the dog costume contest." And I was like, "What is a dog costume contest?"
Pet costume contest.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
In fact, my wife wins that almost every year. You probably met her then. But
Probably did.
was that the year she was the bee, or was she the? My wife's birthday is on Halloween, so Halloween in our house is huge. The pet costume parade is huge, and then so Dick Trickle used to be the head judge for that.
Okay.
So if you were a judge on that,
I'm in good company.
You were there with Dick Trickle, and Dick Trickle always picked my wife. My wife is beautiful. She looked cute. Always looks cute with her dog, and I can tell you the list of everything she was, but she takes it serious. But we're always racing when that's going on. So.
Hey, it's a good time. If I can make it over to Oktoberfest sometime soon, I definitely will.
Yeah, it's
one of the best events of short track racing. That being said, we're gonna go ahead and take it to break. We've got Brey Holmes coming up here on the other side of the commercial, and then we'll look to talk to Michael Atwell after that.
That sounds awesome.
All right, stick tuned for more Let's Talk Short Track Racing.
difference.
We're back on the Let's Talk Short Track. We got a guest here, Brey Holmes. He's 23 years old. And Brey, you're from right here in Florida, right?
Yes, sir. Auburndale, Florida, born and raised.
That a boy. I said Auburndale. That's over right by my house that I rent now down here for a Floridian. I'm the Floridian. Auburndale's kind of a cool town.
Yes,
It's got a little
sir.
bit of
It's definitely
everything.
grown a little bit in the last few years, but
Yeah.
it used to be kind of boring around there.
I keep a lot of people tell me, like, where we live, we kind of live in a newer house in
Yeah.
this newer, I call it newer area, but they said that was fields, nothing but fields, and it used to be kind of big farmland, and
Yes, sir.
you got Plant City not too far away.
Yes, sir.
So it's a lot of, I see cattle. I'm like, man, I feel like I'm back in Wisconsin a little
Yeah,
bit.
quite a bit. The neighborhoods right there by my house are all brand new development. It used to be orange groves and all cow pastures, and it's all just new development now. So it's definitely growing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Traffic's getting worse.
So home track, Auburndale Speedway, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's where you started,
That's where I started, first in the mini cup.
mini cup cars.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
yeah, the little, I call
They're
them
like
half
eight-
size, 8
Yeah,
or 5/8
3/8 or
scale or
something like
whatever.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, you lay down in them.
Basically, yeah. So they're almost like F1 cars. You're like
Yeah.
this. And
We got
it's-
a kid back home that races one of my. So I got a team back home called Superstar Motorsports back in Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
So we have a bunch of kids. We got like 11 kids that race our cars out of Wisconsin, and we have a Brandon Wynn that he ran the mini cup cars. He was fast, a 41 car. But so the mini cup cars, there's still a lot of racing up by us, up
Really?
Slinger, Plover. I mean, and they get a slew of them out there, and it's kind of like a little group. It's always the same group of guys, you know, that you kind of know each other.
Yeah.
But
just like how it is in the late models.
yeah.
It's always the same, travel group that'll hit the same
yeah,
track.
yeah, exactly. And the one thing I loved about them is they're all so the same. You had to be
It's
on
tight
your.
racing.
It is tight racing, and I mean you're out there running. They were so low on power. It was like drafting meant
Yeah.
something. Like
Yeah.
you just shoot out. Oh, that didn't work. Get back in line
Yes,
and do it all
sir.
again.
That's how it was when we first started. I was 13 years old, and I honestly didn't even come from racing. I had zero background into
Yeah.
racing. My dad had zero background into racing. I think just one Saturday, my dad was scrolling through Facebook and saw one of his buddies saying, "Going to Arbondale Speedway."
Yep.
My dad commented, said, "Okay, where's my race car?" They're like, "Come to the track, we have one." And
That's
it
how it
was
started.
yeah, and it was some out of the garage V8 bomber that's never been
Yeah.
probably even looked at. Every single dent was in every single side of the car. It's just something to go on the track, and he loved it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, come to the track." Got me just at least going to the track, and he was like, "I'll buy you a car if you want to start." Sold our dirt bikes because that's what I was somewhat doing. And my first race, I had the most fun, I feel like, as a kid.
Yeah.
Being able to go that kind of speed, in a car.
Yep.
I was like, I thought I was
Yeah.
in NASCAR,
Yeah.
And my throttle cable broke on my first night.
Oh, geez.
So
So,
it was
the
like-
car's like burr.
Yeah. So like the bad luck, I was like
Yep.
having so much fun.
Yeah.
But after that, my dad kind of got more into the V8 Bomber series
Yep.
and bought a pretty decent V8 Bomber from 5 Point Customs.
Yep.
He ran that for probably 2 years, and as I was progressing the mini cup, I got a championship. I think I ended up getting close to 2 championships, and he let me test drive his
Yep.
V8 Bomber. I did pretty decent for practice, and just excelled in the V8 Bomber. And he bought a truck, he tested it for a little bit, put me in it. I
Yep.
excelled in it for 3 years. Got my first win after 4 years, I think, at the charity race.
And the pro trucks.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it was 115 laps, my biggest race, and I ended up catching the win after five laps to go.
Awesome.
And,
That's exciting.
Yeah, your first win in a really big series feels
Yeah.
pretty good, and that's made us want to look into the late models.
Yep.
And they're pretty expensive. And we were like, "Yep, that's no good for us." So ran the truck for another year, won the charity race again, and we were like, "Okay, we've definitely got something in the truck. Let's look for a late model." And our crew chief, Josh Todd, had a pro late. And he was like, "We'll sell it to you for a good price. Just if you can't pay it all right now, do payments." Worked out great for us with a 604 crate motor.
Yeah.
Running with the
We got a pro.
Supers.
It's $150,000, but we'll just give you a payment plan on it. Well, $50,000 a month. We'll get
Yeah, that'd be great. It's crazy that a pro late would actually run with the Supers at Arbondale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That little track. I can
And
see that for sure.
I ended up finishing third in the championship with
Yeah.
a pro late model in my first year.
Yeah.
And it felt pretty competitive. And
the one thing, it's low horsepower, right?
Yes.
And so I always felt like that was a great move on your family by putting you in a pro with the supers. I did that with Kendrick too. Like put them in the low horsepower.
Yes.
Let them guys, and you're not burning your stuff up.
No,
so
not
any
one
long
bit.
race, you're kind of there at the end, but they beat you up on the restarts, blah, blah, blah,
Oh,
all
every
that
time.
stuff. Yeah.
You know, I remember Joe Jonas, Robert Jonas, actually, I don't know if I say Joe. Robert Jonas, whenever we first got into the late models, me and him, for some reason, were like magnets to each other, you know?
Yeah.
And for just one occasion, I do remember me having the crate motor, him having the motor, he could just stick out and right
Pass
to my
ya.
door and just
through
watching
the corner, you're whipping them back.
watching the GoPro footage, I'm like, I need motor. You know,
Yeah.
we need motor. So after the first year, we were like, all right, let's go get a progressive.
Yeah.
And that's just started us there, and we blew 2 motors in 2 years.
Yeah.
Had a front clip, and hopefully we've gotten all of our bad luck out of the way after that win, because we definitely felt pretty good after that, after 3 years of trying and struggling.
Well, you don't give up, right?
No.
You learn this, and you know in this business you got to keep learning. And
Yeah.
you know, like we were saying it. Yeah, I've raced a lot of racetracks up in Wisconsin as a driver, and then come down here as a crew chief with my kid and crew chief of my kid. And we up home we got it going on.
Oh, yeah.
We're whipping ass and doing our thing, and then down here it's all new to Kendrick, so
It
it's
is.
new, and I'm excited how good he's doing, as quick as he's
Yes, sir.
as we're just learning it. But and then you pull off the win at Auburndale at the Twin 50 race. That when I talked to you at the Rattler, and I said, hey, I wanted to congratulate you at race
Yes,
night.
sir.
And then you ended up coming down the Rattler, so I finally got the chance to talk to you. Your cars always look good. Your guys has got that red, white, and blue look with the 57. I love that your family doing this, and this is what families do, right?
Yeah.
In fact, when we're not racing, we don't know what to do. I can't
Honestly,
stare at my grass,
you know,
mowing my yard. But
Me and my dad are always saying, you know, are we going to the track this weekend? And it's just to watch or
Yeah.
to help Rex, because, you know, we've gotten pretty close with Rex being able to help actually at the track for his off events, like the truck pulls or the
Yeah.
drift events.
yeah,
You know, so if we're not racing, you know, I'm at the track no matter what. So
Yeah.
if it's not putting a hand on the race car, it's putting a hand on something at the track.
yeah.
So-
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys did awesome.
I do appreciate
that
it.
night. I was watching. You know, I'm sitting there watching my kid get in our car, but I watched your car get through. It looked really good. You definitely had the car to beat that night. I felt like just both races actually,
Yes, sir.
the car looked good. And so now you went to the Rattler. I remember just talking to you down there. I was excited, excited for you, because I've been doing this a long time, and I always like your energy
Yeah.
and how excited you were. And then you're so appreciative. What I picked up right away in just the sport, like you were
Oh.
just happy to be at the Rattler.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't even on supposed to go. So that whole leading up to going to the Rattler, you know, that Friday before the Saturday race at Auburndale, me and Dad joked about it. We're like, hey, the Rattler's next weekend. If we
Yeah.
win this weekend, let's go. You know, and after we caught the win, you know, we went back to the trailer and we were like,
Should we go?
Do we actually go? And, you know, looking at money and what we could afford, we were like, it's not in our budget,
Yep.
you know, because we want to travel, but with that coming up so soon and it's the weekend after the Auburndale race, you know,
Yeah.
that wasn't in our budget. So
Right. And that's a big race, and the money
Yeah.
that people don't realize, big races like that, how much they cost, hotels, tires, everything that you're trying to get done to go do that race, it's a costly
it
event.
is.
I mean, for
you
us
know,
over here, we're
and
7
before
hours
you even
away.
get to the
you know?
track, you're already at, you know, a certain amount of $1,000, and you're like, I haven't even left my house to
Yeah.
get there, and I've already marked
Yeah.
up how much I'm going to spend. Why
Yeah.
would I? So, you know, all day Sunday, we were kind of just contemplating, and we get a call from our sponsors, and they, hey, we've all talked, and we'd like to put, you know, 3 sets of tire money for
There
you to
you
go
go.
up there. And we were like, are you guys sure? Because, you know, this is a big race. We know we're not going to be super competitive, but we would gladly go up there because it's something to experience. Even if you're not going to win, it's a track to go out there and just try.
Yeah.
And they were like, we would love to put the money together. And so we were able to get $2,200 exactly for 3 sets. And that covered practice set and our 2 race sets. And that's all we had for the weekend,
Yeah.
you know. And then the Thursday morning that we left, we had somebody send us money, $300 for fuel.
Yeah.
We were like, oh my gosh, we might be able to have, you know, extra race fuel to
Yeah.
buy, you know, for practice, not just have one day of practice. So we
These
were
are the stories you love.
we
Like,
were
yeah.
so excited. Like Sunday, I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, I'm going to the Rattler. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to Alabama. I'm going to go race with some pretty big names. You know, Jet
Yeah.
Nolan, Stephen Nassy. Actually,
Yeah.
Nolan didn't even race the super race. I was pretty surprised
Yeah.
about. But, you
Yeah.
know, like Stephen Nassy, Bubba Pollard,
Yep.
all the names. I might not have got to race door
Yeah.
to door with them.
Yep. Casey Roderick was out there.
I know
Yeah,
he,
just a big-
that's pretty cool, and obviously, I would love to be able to go out there and compete against them.
And
But
you passed him.
it's crazy. I did pass Bubba Pollard. I did pass him on the inside one time, but
I
I
was
did.
telling that to Kendrick. I said, "You passed Casey Roderick. You passed Bubba Pollard. I think Bubba was spinning out by then, but you still passed
Yes,
him."
we
No, I was
still
kidding.
passed him. We're not going to tell nobody that part, but hey, we
Yeah,
passed
that's right.
Bubba Pollard. That's all we have to say.
That's right.
So, like, even after the race, over the radio, car setup kind of went wonky, not knowing what to do after 125 laps, because that's my biggest race.
Yeah.
I tried to attempt the Bigley Memorial, didn't necessarily make the race, so I had to do the 50 lapper, but they had a 125 tune-up, and I made the race that weekend. And I think I made it like lap 99 for a right rear axle broke.
Yep.
So, that was my biggest race. We don't know what
Yep.
tires are going to do that long. So it was kind of just falling all over the place. And after 125 laps, I ended up getting like a really bad burn right here.
Oh yeah, from being out there in the hot heat.
Leaning up against my seat.
Yep.
And after the race, 3 hours later, I took a picture and it was almost blistered up.
Yeah.
And
big races when you get to all the deflector tape on inside, outside, the insulation, everything, deflector shields.
And we thought we had enough, because we've done layers and, not knowing what to do for that many laps. We're also expecting a night race.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I had a blast.
Yeah,
I couldn't
that's
have
cool.
asked for a weekend to go any better.
Yeah.
All day in practice, I was 21st, dead last. I qualified and I was 19th. And I was like, holy crap, sign me up for NASCAR,
That's cool.
And I didn't even set the world on fire. I ran 1,000th faster than my entire lap all weekend, and I was like, oh, we're going to the top now,
To our viewers, like having that excitement left in racing, because a lot of times you guys are doing it as a family.
Yeah,
So,
it's me and my dad.
yeah, and that's what I love. That's like my family, same way. Growing up with me and my dad, and then going from me and my dad to me and my son, it's the same way. Where like I feel like sometimes Kendrick's, got it a little bit better because we have so much experience already
Yes,
here.
sir.
Where you come from a family that
has
hey, we're just
zero,
learning as it goes.
you
But
know.
sometimes that's the funnest
It
time
is.
you
We
have.
learn something every weekend.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even if it's running Arbondale 3
Yeah.
weekends in a row, we have learned something every single track.
Yeah.
We picked up speed. We picked up speed on old tires. We picked up
Yeah.
speed on new tires. And it's not even like we actually gained speed like lap time wise.
Yeah.
It was I went faster through the corner than I used to, so it's turning so much smoother.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. And what has really helped us was Josh Todd.
Yeah.
We didn't really know him when we first got into racing, and I think like a year or two after getting into the trucks, he started to really help us a lot, and he became our crew chief / mechanic / my spotter. I was 15 years old, and he was my role model. And he's won
If
championships.
you say
in late
turn right on the
models.
straightaway, I turned right on the straightaway.
Yeah,
Because he told me to do it.
He
right,
told me to
yeah.
do it. He's won so many championships in late models,
Yep.
modifieds, karts, go-karts. So I know that he's got what I need to listen to.
Yeah.
And
He knows. Yeah.
growing up as a young boy, I was hard-headed, so I didn't want to listen to him. And then my dad finally was like, "Hey, look."
I always say all these young kids sometimes are a bunch of little dipshits.
They are.
We
Don't get me
do,
wrong.
but
We definitely are. We definitely are. And then
I say that to my son all the
I
time.
tore up one race car, and Dad said, "Hey, this is coming out of your pocketbook this time." Yeah, won't be doing that one again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot to learn, and me, Dad, and Josh went up to Alabama. My mom came. She tried to do as much as she could. She helped roll the tire out, but we go to these races out of town. It's just us three. And sometimes at Arbondale we'll have 2 or 3 people that'll show up like later, right before the race starts, that are here to support. Try to help put a hand on the car, but they're not there from Friday to Saturday. We have one person, Mike Duncan, who is sometimes free for the weekend, but majority of the time you'll see just me, my dad, and Josh.
Yeah,
And
that's cool. That's fun. Them are the best times of your life right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you, folks, Brey Holmes, 23 years old. You got some sponsors you want to talk about on your rig?
Yeah, so I've gotten some pretty decent sponsors, and they're all family-owned sponsors
Awesome.
from Arbondale that I've grown up with, or my dad has grown up with. And a lot of them I didn't know until I got into racing, and he was like, "Hey, I grew up with this dude. He wants to sponsor your race car."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay."
What does he own? A potato chip factory?
Yeah, what does he do? He's like, he's got a lawn business, or he
Yeah.
cuts trees just
Yeah.
for fun. I've got the Brack Shack Bar and Grill, which they just opened up a restaurant right there in Arbondale probably 4 years ago.
Okay.
They were, I'm trying to remember the first name, but they just changed their name to the Bar and Grill. They do all American food and barbecue as well. They have a bar that just opened up with their alcohol license. I also have All American Lawn Care, Springs Custom Digital Designs, who actually did my red, white, and blue wrap.
Yep, that's a cool wrap.
Heartbeat Motors and Performance out of Orlando, who helped get my parts motor together. Like I said, we blew 2 motors in my first 2 years of actually having a spec motor.
Yeah.
And we were like looking for somebody to get around, and he was like, "Hey, no parts motors are allowed. We build a really good parts motor. We'd love for you to test ours."
Yeah.
And we were
Built
like,
that
"We would love
relationship
to."
and
Yeah,
got it.
we built a really good relationship, and he is down to the wire with us. Helps us
Awesome.
if we need to pull it out and just have him go check it. He's
Yep.
free right for us, and we knew we couldn't be more thankful for somebody.
Well, you put his motor in victory lane.
Yeah, he's definitely got a good motor, and
Yep.
it keeps up with some of these big teams, and we were pretty surprised. Patrick Moore Motorsports, who I run dirt cars for,
Yep.
over in Ocala, he's helped quite a bit this past year, giving me money to help get in tires or putting me in his car just to go run Ocala, just because I know that's also expensive to go run dirt.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that honestly aren't even on the car that
Help you out back, yeah.
Rex Guy has helped me, I don't know how many times, with just, hey, here's fuel for the week.
Yeah, he seems like a real
He's,
stand-up.
a lot of
guy.
people genuinely probably get on his bad side on one bad thing and have like a bad rep. But once you get on his good side, he is a good person. He
Yeah.
tries to help every single racer because he understands that times are where they are and things are expensive. There for a little bit, I did have a motor that blew up, and I was running 5th in the championship, and he just allowed me to run his backup car.
That's cool.
Just to run,
That's good stories
just to
like
finish
that.
5th in the
Yeah.
championship,
Yeah.
And it's a great car,
Yeah.
and he didn't charge me and my dad anything. It was just a crash cost,
Yeah.
So for us to be able to just get into a car like that, just go to run 5th, just off of relationship,
Yeah.
I couldn't be more thankful for that. If
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere in racing, or if I don't get the best chassis, or the $10,000 shocks that you can probably buy from whoever, Ernest,
Right.
I still have a blast no matter where we go. And there's
Awesome.
a lot of people that help.
Well, Brey, we're gonna have to. We got other guests to get on. We only have an
10-4.
hour show. I'm gonna have Brey back. He's my best interview
Oh,
I've
I've
ever
got
had. Actually,
stories.
Brey is
Oh.
going to be our talk host at the racetrack.
Oh, I've
Brey,
got
you were
stories.
awesome having
I
on.
appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in.
No,
and,
it's
on the
this
studios,
is beautiful. This shop here, if anybody ever gets to come out here, this shop is beautiful. It's definitely
Yeah,
something to look
GTR
at.
does it up.
Yes,
We got Pac-Man.
I have
game
to get
back
my
here.
car in here and get it worked on or something,
That Kendrick does all the work. We all just stand around and watch that little shit.
Hey, that's fine with me. Come look at my personal garage that I have. My niece's bikes are hanging from the roof. I'm hitting my head trying to get jack stands. It's a blast.
Well, have a great
I
night.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for coming.
Yes,
and
sir.
After these messages, we're gonna get back with a new guest. Mike Atwell's on. Brey, have a safe trip home. His family, thanks his family for giving that kid racing. He's the kind of people we need. Thank you. Well, welcome back to Short Track. Let's talk short track. We got, I think we're trying to get Michael on here, right?
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulty with Michael, but he'll. That was a good interview with Brey, huh?
Absolutely. No, Brey, good kid. Just growing up in the Central Florida area and racing, and man, I mean, he figured it out, right? He figured out how to uh, go from not even being in racing to winning at his local short track to going to the big leagues, just like that. And man, that's cool to see.
I love that. Just that, the family's trying to get up, and like even Michael, like he said, he was from 417 Speedway. And same thing, these are the next generation, right? These kids they've been doing it a little bit now. Now they're out there winning races at the short tracks.
Absolutely. And it looks like we might actually have Michael here.
Michael, you got us?
Hold on.
Oh,
Still-
okay. Yeah,
still
we
working.
got him. I can hear him.
You can hear him?
I can
All
hear
right.
him.
Well, hey, we got him. I'll work on the video here. You go ahead
You
and
ain't in
give
your
him.
basement sitting on your laptop, are you? So, Michael, nice job last week. Actually, last couple races, I wanted to congratulate you over at Citrus. You guys did really good there, and then at the Rattler, I mean, start on the pole and just checked out. I mean, no one had nothing for your car. I was watching the lap times. We got our car working. Pretty much the last 50 laps, we were at the laps that second, third, fourth, and fifth. But you guys were kind of in your own league. You guys definitely had it going on. No, racing has so much to do with luck, huh? Yeah, definitely. What's your? I was going to talk to you a little bit about letting our listeners know where it all start. Like, what was it? Family? Where did you start racing? That sort of thing. Yeah. So, like the go karts, like asphalt, dirt, everything, or okay, yep.
track stuff.
Awesome. Starting out in the doing the thing with the family.
Yep. So we did that,
There you-
and then we moved to we raced bandoleros a little bit. I raced some mini sprints and that kind of stuff on dirt. I raced some mini sprints on asphalt. Then we moved to full size cars. I think I was probably 10 or 11. I started racing pro trucks, and then we went to Sportsman's and got lucky enough to meet Marty and Holly Walsh, who are my car owners for the car down here, and started racing a late model for them, and now we're with Chris Davidson as well. So I've been very fortunate in my career to meet great people that support me and are looking to do what's best for me. So I can't thank all those people enough, because I wouldn't be where I'm at without all the people that have played a big part or a small part in my racing career.
That sounds awesome. That's cool. Like winning races right now is at your age. How old are you, Michael?
25.
25. Yeah, winning bigger races like the Rattler. That's I said there was a lot of the bigger names struggled a little bit last week for sure. And but your guys' car was the class of the field by far. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Is that?
No,
Okay. I'm just feels like I'm echoing myself. But yeah. So what's next plans? What's your next goals? What you're trying to go for?
Yeah, I think we were planning on running the UARA National tour, obviously with Chris Davidson's car, and it's been obviously winning the Rattlers a really good start to that. So the next race for us right now is April 5th at Cordell for the Superfest race.
Yep.
And then from there, it's just we're gonna hit all the UARA races. We're gonna race my car some down in Florida. And just try and we're going for the UARA National Tour, and then down here it's mainly just let's try and see how many wins we can get with our car locally.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we for our team here, just all new to me down here at Wisconsin. Any plans of going to Wisconsin?
I'd love to now that Ricky is partnering there at Slinger. I'd love to go to that race. It's just trying to make sure it all fits with the schedule, with the Berlin races and all that kind of stuff. We don't want to put ourselves if we are in contention for the national tour, we don't want to put ourselves in the box there for a race it's not, you know what I mean? But I'd love to get up there.
I guarantee you one thing. If you get that Slinger Nationals race, it'll be the largest crowd you've ever raced in front of in your career. Promise you that.
That place looks, I've watched that race for 5 or 6 years now, and the place looks like a friggin' blast to race on.
It is. It's crazy. Being up there, I always call it rhythmatic. It's fast. I remember the first time I raced it was actually a twin. It was a 150 twin 75s, and I was out there racing. Next thing I get on the mic. I said, "What happened? Took caution?" They said, "No, we're halfway through the race. 75 laps." I started laughing because I was like, "It went 75 laps, green flag, and it was over, and it felt like minutes." You're cooking around there 11 seconds,
That's how I felt racing at Berlin, because you're on the wheel the entire time at Berlin. Just you got to make sure you hit your marks. You got to make sure you keep the tires underneath you. And next thing you know, there's a yellow come out for a brake or control caution to change tires. I'm like, what lap are we on?
Yeah.
So I'd love to make it up there, though, man. The Wisconsin races and all the Wisconsin racers, all those guys, are class acts, and love to go compete against some of the best guys. So it'd be great to go to their neck of the woods. I know a lot of them come down to Bradenton Freedom Factory 417 to race with us. So it'd be great to go up there and get on their home tracks and see how we can compete.
I always say that trying to get I always say Florida's great racing. You got Florida, Alabama, Georgia. I've been traveling this every winter I come down here, probably for the last 30 years of my life. And then we have Wisconsin, and it's always so hard to leave there because during racing, we have so many asphalt racetracks. And we got a lot of racers, and our car counts are pretty good size on these weekly racing. You got WIR that's got a great Thursday night program. You got two tracks that run Friday nights. You got four tracks that run Saturday nights, and then you got Slinger that runs on Sunday. So there's a lot of racing all the time, but that's so seasonal. The season starts in April, and it's over in October. But coming down here is a lot of fun. Grant brought Kendrick down here, and doing this is just a blessing in our family. So I get it. Like you understand it. The biggest thing is having the help behind the scenes. With that help, you got sponsors you want to thank at all?
Yeah, I can't, like I said, I can't thank Chris and Rhonda Davidson enough for allowing me to venture out and race a lot of these really cool races, really prestigious races, and giving me the opportunity to run the national tour. I can't thank Marty and Holly Walsh enough for the exact same reason. The great equipment they put me in, and the opportunity they've given me to go out and pursue the races that I want to pursue and to win races that, big races that we have won. And then we have a lot of our sponsors that are on the car: Drake Ready Mix, Universal Transmissions, RAS Concrete and Construction, Castle Services, Alice Sweetwater's Bar and Grill, Painstaking Art, Tyler Rohrig with Rocket Fabrication for all he does, Mike and Lisa Garvey, Mike for working his absolute tail off at the racetrack, and it doesn't matter if it's 9:30 at night or it's 6:30 in the morning. If he's thinking about something, he'll call me and we can sit there and talk about it, or I can do the same thing if I'm, if I've got thoughts on the car and what we think, or what I think we could do better. It's just so many pieces that go into making these things go around the track. You know that as well as anybody, and even the people that just come into the shop to hang out, or all the guys that are at the racetrack that are working their butts off, all the guys behind the scenes. I can't thank all of them enough, because you know how hard it is just to bring a fast race car, let alone, get the done throughout a whole weekend. So I can't thank all those guys enough for working their butts off, because I wouldn't be in the position that I am right now. And I'm happy that I was able to get the job done for them, so we can all celebrate a little bit, and I can see smiles on their faces.
Yeah. I say that I get it. When you're, we're that way as a family too, as friends. We eat, sleep, and shit racing. This is what we do. And I don't. I was telling Alec, I don't know what to do if we don't do it. Like we're lost, and we're constantly thinking of speed. And when you have guys come in, what if you did this? And then the years I've always thinking of testing. I got way more stuff sitting on the shelf at my race shop that didn't work than I got stuff that did work. But it's fun though. That makes it entertaining. It makes it fulfillment in your life, right? You win that. That's a crown jewel race. It's that Rattler 250. And you guys won it, and to me that's exciting, and especially 25 years old, and this is what it takes, right? It takes doing this stuff, getting this cars worked on, racing your ass off, and hitting all these racetracks and having and then showing the success now. And it just shows you what your team has done, and now you guys got great notebooks, and you keep going forward with it, like you were talking, the citrus momentum. You take that momentum, you go and hit the next racetrack. Cordelia, you guys are going to be strong. I know you will. That first Cordelia race, I think you got. How did you guys end up good at the race? I thought.
Yeah, we struggled the whole race. I think we, basically it was just keep fighting. I mean, we missed it a ton. And we found a few things on the car going through it after the race that we realized that maybe this is what we've been fighting last 4 or 5 races.
Yeah.
And then, going to Citrus, we corrected those things, showed up, car was fast, and the car stayed fast the whole race. Then obviously the Rattler went well as well. So the first race of the year was tough, but like you said, there's a lot of stuff sitting on the shelves that doesn't work, and the stuff that's working on the car, and even when the stuff is working, I thought we were really good at the Rattler. I think we could have been better there that last run, and really the end of the first run. I think we could have been better, but you always got something to work on. That's I think mostly what makes us come back, right? It's that satisfaction of winning, number one, and then number two, even when you do win, or even if you don't win, you can always make something better. So you're always chasing something that you're trying to find, you know what I mean? Even when you win or you don't.
You bet. That's what it takes. Coming down here, I'm trying to build new tracks, right? At Home, Kendrick won 8 features last year, is just kicking ass, and now it's like starting all over again. You're trying to find the new, what's new, and I'm down here in a new team. I mean, in May of last year, we didn't even have a shop here. And then we rolled down here in October, but to try to get this up and running, and Citrus was a good out for us, and trying to get the car going. I felt like the car was strong, but Rattler, we struggled. Practice, I felt we were good, but we kept going, but we'll get it. And but I was proud of you guys, your team. They all did super good. You guys should keep your head high and go into the next one, and hopefully that well, you got the Rattler now, right? You got bit by the snake, or
I was going to ask.
Did you get bit by that thing?
Just jumping in here, Michael. I mean, you got to sit there in victory lane with a 2 rattlesnakes, I mean, just draped around your neck. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I had so much adrenaline pumping at that point that I wasn't really too worried about it. He came.
Did your
behind
mom
me
stand by you?
No, she wasn't there. She was watching online, but
My wife would never just
the snake around my neck. He goes, no sudden movements, and I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm not going to move. Don't worry. There's a rattlesnake around my neck. Obviously, I'm not going to move. And then I got a cramp in my hamstring. I'm like, oh God, can we hurry this up, please?
Yeah, this is done. I'm done. You know, like, is the snake's coming off yet?
Yeah. Can we get this thing off? We got enough pictures.
We had so much fun there that week. So we went just the whole town. We met so many people, and I just laughed. John, that owns the racetrack, super guy, so appreciative of us being there. Everyone, and you got Jeff Collins is the guy from Hardee's that sponsored that race, and I think they were a major sponsor for that deal, and can't thank them enough. But Michael, you and your team, congratulations. Awesome to talk to. When I see you live, I'd sure like to shake your hand.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on, and I appreciate all you guys do for racing and, trying to get super late model racing out there. I think a lot more people need to hear about it, and I think if they did hear about it, they'd love it as much as we do. So I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to seeing both of you guys at the next race.
That sounds good. You take care. If you would have been bit by the snake, we'd have had a pretty kick-ass show, I think.
Absolutely.
Neck swelled up or something.
Straight from the hospital.
Yeah.
We're looking for views.
There's no doubt about that, but I'm very happy.
The safety truck tipping over in the pro race.
Most viral thing I've ever seen.
Oh boy, yeah, that was tough.
Well, have a good one. We'll talk to you hopefully real soon again when that next victory.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thank you.
Get back to work.
All right. Yeah, that was Michael Atwell. My golly.
I said he's calling from work. I said, oh, I'm way over past lunch. I got to let you go. I said the one thing with the snake, Michelle told Kendrick, if you get in Victory Lane and you got to wear that snake, I'm not going to stand anywhere near you. She's scared of a rubber snake sitting on Grant's dash of his truck.
There are some races you kiss a cow. There's other races you
drink milk,
and then you get draped by the snake at South Alabama Speedway.
I just always, my joke is that thing poisonous? Has the poison been peeled from it, or they're just shit, we'll wing it and just hopefully it doesn't bite
supposedly anybody? They're professionals. That being said,
wait a minute. I was at the honky tonk 15 miles away. I walked in there. There was more smoke through the bar, and I seen 5 babies. So safety's but I had a great time. That was kind of like how I grew up, Alec. You kids are all pussies nowadays. I mean, you can't even go into a bar. Remember, Grant? Remember we went to a bar when there's smoke all over? Yeah, that's right. Tricia was hanging out with Tricia sponsored our race car, some tires. Caleb is her son, right? Mm-hmm. And he rode with us, and I don't want to go public with her story, but it's a sad story about her son. But we got to ride. Caleb got to ride with Kendrick in the race and put that thing in a 6th place. But
brought it to a 6th place finish. Yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah, that's Leonard Skinner's
sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she was. She's a trip. She's fun. She was a lot of fun.
She was, and very sweet lady. Yeah. We can't say enough good things about her.
Oh, awesome!
I spent basically an entire week getting to know her, and she got to see what it was like being at the racetrack and experiencing that.
To me, I'm a Yankee, and she's definitely Southern, and I loved it because she's the real life. She should be the poster child for Southern hospitality. Absolutely, just a sweetheart.
Absolutely. And before we go to break here, just want to give a shout out to our good friend Jeff Bloom, who was on our 2nd episode. Yeah. He had some surgery here recently. On the other side of it, on the mend. So we're just thinking about you, Jeff Bloom.
You bet, Jeff.
And we'll be seeing you around the turn here, buddy.
We'll have him on. We need a half-hour show with Jeff because we were so quick with his show.
Oh
and
my
I think he's
gosh.
got more stories than all of us put together.
I think we went an hour and a half on that show and wasn't even long enough.
It was for sure.
All right, we'll go ahead and go to break here, and we'll do some tech talk on the
Sounds
other
good.
side.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Short Track. So I guess we're going to talk about some tech talk. We're getting past time because we have awesome guests on tonight.
Oh man, I mean, we could have talked to these guys for hours, let alone 15, 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah, it's tough because they got full careers. 15, 20 minutes ain't doing shit for these guys. But it was great. Brey got to come in, and Michael calling from work. So it's good guys, young kids, just making it happen. But I want to talk a little bit about teching over at the Radler. When you come down here, I'll tell you, Ricky runs a thorough boat. The guys that work for him, guys and girls that work for him, do a great job. And I'll tell you, bringing your car into tech, I love how they do my favorite part of how they do it is just they call you up and say, hey, you're coming in between 12:10 and 12:15. And it's your car, and then the next car comes in, and you're kind of isolated with them, and they make it fun. There's nobody dragging ass, and I mean every one of them are super pleasant, thanking you to be there, that sort of thing, and that's what it should be in a tech shed, and and even back towards a tech guy, because no one wants to be a tech guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean that's the guy that gets his ass chewed out and he's doing it wrong, and F you and screw you, all the BS that goes on with that. So I thought they did a super good job. They're thorough. When something's not quite right, it seems like they just, hey, I want this fixed up here, and next time you come through, we're gonna put this off on the checklist. And that was our first race we went. We had one thing that they checked that we had to go recheck, but once you figure out you got your car and go through your templates and everything at home, you're good on your body. And Ricky's got some, he's working on the 4-inch block rule. He's got 4-inch blocks there. We're kind of big on that in Wisconsin, so that's something he's looking to do, and it's just inviting, right? We talked about that in the last tech talk, but yeah, I thought it was awesome. I don't want to get rambled on too far, but it makes it nice and fun and easy, and they got music playing. What tech shed doesn't have?
Man, I look at this weekend, and I look at y'all's experience, and it looked like you were having a good time. And it makes me think, you have done this through ASA, you've done this through NASCAR, you've done this through a bunch of different sanctioning bodies. Is this one of the better experiences you've had, or
by 1,000%? I feel like it's a lot less pressure. And I hate to say this, but it's like
you're inviting racers, right? So when you pull a promotion on having a race, you're inviting these racers. No matter what, it's inviting. Part of that tech group is inviting. It's not like, shit, I got to go through these guys, and what are they going to say I got wrong? And you take, these teams that are new and trying to get their car right. And when you have the tech people helping you versus hounding you, and a lot of times, I've been to places where we've been hounded, and I don't want to hear it, da-da-da-da, and it's like, okay, what do I do now? Well, you got to come through the tech shed and have it right next time. What I have wrong here, you're telling me I have wrong. How do I fix it today? I don't care. Well, it's just like, then you got to wonder if you're loading up or if you're going to go out there and take the tin cutters and take your airbox out of the car. I'm saying airbox because I'm the guy that gets busted for an airbox all the time. My cool airboxes, damn it. But
try to be innovative over here.
It's a lot less pressure, and I don't know. They make it fun. They do. They're all laughing. I don't know the gal's name that does the scales. Do you know her?
That's Mary.
Oh, that's Mary?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sweet pea. Oh, she's awesome. Comes up. She's little man jumps on the scale. He's 112 pounds. I'm like, I shit bigger than he is, but it's he's just a little fart. Because they do when they roll the car across the scales, then they make the driver come back on first scale on open tech, and they make the driver step on the scale. So they have that. And she's like, he's 112 pounds.
I mean, soaking wet, too.
I don't think he's going to be doing any WWE wrestling anytime soon.
No, he's going to be bulking up hopefully here over the summer, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah, I want to thank 5 Star Bodies, Joe's Racing Products, and Bassett Wheels is our product sponsors that we have on the podcast here. They're always great friends of mine that own the companies, and I'm glad they're part of our team. And as we keep growing this, I don't want to take too much time on Let's Talk Short Track, but I thought we had a great weekend. Hopefully next week we got more news to. Just the biggest thing is comment. What you guys want to hear. I mean, we're waiting for that stuff. Sometimes if we do got people that want to come in.
Oh, absolutely.
Come and talk to us, and I mean, this is what it takes, right? And like I said, I don't think we never have stuff to not talk about, because we could talk about axles. Like how many? You got axles that are $350. You got axles that are $89. So if you want to talk about anything in the short track world, but Allick, I had fun doing this with you tonight, and it's always a pleasure. And yeah, thanks our sponsors and everyone that does this with us.
Yeah, shout out to Dennis Dean. I saw him pop up here. Obviously, big crew chief up in North Carolina these days. Also, shout out to all our incredible sponsors. Like you said, 5 Star Bodies, Joe's Racing Products, Bassett Wheels, Compass. We've got Patriot Media Marketing Services. We've got Meow Meow.
Meow Meow. GTR Racing, GTR Ranch. In this huge studio we got, this stuff sucks up room for our race shop here.
Hey, we're looking at consolidating some of the equipment here, but no, it's we've got some great partners, and if you'd like to come along and be a partner and help sponsor our Tech Talk, we've got some great guests that we've brought in every week.
Yeah, our prices are cheap. We're looking for $12,000 a year, and it's $1,000 a month, easy payments. GTR's in the background laughing.
At the end of the day, we want to continue to grow this product. I know bring some more folks in to help crew the podcast and grow it to be the best product that it can be. We've got some partners within the racing world that we're looking at potentially simulcasting with, and hey, we want to continue to grow, and any help is very, very much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, thanks a lot for Let's Talk Short Track with me and the man here, Allick, and we'll next week we'll have some great guests on for us, and we'll see you next week.